What's going on, you guys? Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to let you guys know just before we go any further into this video, my sound might be a little bit off. I might sound a little bit unusual at times. It might seem like the mic's coming in or going away. Just bear with me. I'm getting reset up here in lovely, sunny, hot Puerto Rico, where we're getting Project Remedy underway. We've got the development teams now working towards that unified goal, and it's really a two-part process, and getting here, getting set up is only a small part of this journey. When you're developing something as substantial as this, you really need to think about all of the ins and outs. You've got to think about regulations. You've really got to cover all of your bases, and that's what we're more or less going to be doing here. So expect big things in the coming 2 months. We've got around a 2-month roadmap, a development timeline, which is going to lead us to that ultimate goal we're trying to achieve, which is accessing an entirely new user base. And alongside that, trying to create some kind of new way for people to be interested in the Terra Classic blockchain. So what I want to do here on Friday, this is my only video today. Like I said, it's going to be a busy day here. It's very hot and I'm still getting things set up. Sounds not quite right, but the price of LUNC seems to be following this pattern. And although there's been a rather substantial downturn in the market that everybody's panicking about, but we spoke previously that there's going to be a lot of chop solidation as we go into the 20th of January. We're going to be moving into the realms of unknown. So before we go on to more Trump talk, more president talk, where I think this is all really going around the 20th, around that inauguration, I want to focus on this area here that I've highlighted in green. Now, if we begin to falter and drop below this trend line, there is an area of safety. We've got what you would see as a safety net, if you will. Now, with this being said, right, this safety net is going to provide us with a bit of comfort, a bit of knowledge, and an understanding that there is a trend line forming. We have bounced on it previously during that last substantial market downturn. So like I said previously, the likelihood is, and the most beneficial thing for us to do as an ecosystem right now, is come down and test that trend line. When we test a trend line as substantial as this, as long-winded as this, we start to confirm what we're all talking about. And that's where the predictability factor really comes into it. If a whale trader can predict that the price is going to bounce on that trend line, well, he can buy the lows and then he can attempt to sell the highs. He may retain some of his position, although he may sell a substantial amount of it, he may retain a small amount. And that's kind of the idea behind going for these new users, whether they're big whale traders or just generalized average Joes. We're trying to get absolutely everybody to understand that this is an ecosystem. And this is something that's greatly misunderstood about our blockchain. Anybody can come here, develop, deploy. You can do anything you want within the confines of governance, right? If you're building outside of governance, then you don't need to abide by that. There is nobody who stands at the gate of this thing and says to everybody, look, you can't be here, you can't do this. There are no rules. And that's why I kind of did my previous video about all nodes enforcing a rule. They're simply not enforcing on others. Our chain doesn't have any rules. This is why people can openly double node, triple node, and do all of the crazy things that we see. So we are in a situation, right, where the chain has a lot to offer if you're hungry, if you want to build something, if you want to make something out of your lemons, so to speak. Now, trying to turn lemons into lemonade isn't as simple as picking the lemons up from the shop, getting your lemon press out, getting a glass out, and simply whipping up some lemonade, maybe adding some sugar into that concoction. The biggest issue on our blockchain is we don't have a lemon squeezer. We don't even have a shop that sells the lemons at this point. We really, as a blockchain, need a very specific set of tools. And with those tools needs to be the introduction of something new, something bold, something brash, something that's really going to bring the opportunity where somebody, being an average Joe, can come in and say to themselves, I can build something here. I can develop something here. I can create a coin here. I can create an NFT project. We're trying to open up the doors to more people. That's why my previous video is really saying that LUNCDash itself, being that mobile app, was the last collective thing that we would do. Now we would be focusing on the layer 2s. We would be focusing on the NFT projects. We'd be focusing on Project Remedy specifically. But again, this is all being done to better serve the LUNC ecosystem in a general term. I'm not trying to better one individual group's future. I'm trying to better all of your futures, and more importantly, you, the average Joe. I truly believe if everybody in crypto could come in and stake a digital claim, they would do it. When we look at validating, it's become very easy on chain. Because it's so easy, we end up with a lot of different validators, which are a little bit uncertain on what they should do, how they should proceed, and really what they should tackle. Another big thing is going to be money. When you're trying to do anything in crypto, it really just boils down to money. Project Remedy is all about removing those barriers, removing the need for money, removing the need for you, right, to have many different connections in crypto and know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy to maybe try and launch something. So let that sink in. But what I want to do is focus now on this trend line. This is really important over the course of the next week, right, as we lead up, probably going into the 17th, right? I think we're going to be starting to see a bigger build-up. I think we're going to bounce on this trend line. I think it's rather inevitable that we're going to move with the rest of the market. So the likelihood is we're going to come up into this area. Excuse my poorly drawn arrow. I'm using a mouse. It's like shaking hands with a cat. But this area that I'm targeting is really becoming more plausible. Everything that's going on behind the scenes, the L2s that are developing are actually doing more or less a lot of good stuff. Some things I don't agree with, but that's just totally normal. You know, we can't expect somebody to like absolutely everything. Just because I dislike something, does that mean it's not good or it doesn't have a chance of success or it could be beneficial to this? But of course not. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just giving you guys my point of view from an honest perspective that's not watered down, washed up. You know how it is. I give it to you guys how it is. Over the next week, leading up to the 17th, I'm going to be buying the dip quite excessively when it comes to Lunar Classic. The second we get the confirmation of the bounce, I'm going to be loading up with another significant amount. And if Project Remedy really does everything it's supposed to do, right, the need for purchasing LUNC would never be greater. We would see a huge rush to acquire LUNC coins for cheap so that they could go and be used in an effective manner, which could produce a lot more money in the future. You provide the options for people, you provide the opportunities for people, you remove the barriers for entry, and we could see this big breakout we've all wanted for some time. So like I was saying, what we've done here is we've set a higher low. And now what we're going to be aiming to do is bounce up with Bitcoin and set a higher high. If we can keep doing this in a consecutive manner, it's going to speak mountains to the external market. On top of all of the marketing and stuff like that, price really speaks louder than anything from my perspective. But let me know what you guys think about Project Remedy. Let me know what you think about price action. Do you think we're going to be going down lower? Do you think this trend line is going to flop? Let me know what you guys think. And aside that, look, just stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.